Hi, I'm April, and for so long the only thing that I cared about was to feel closer to my older sister, Bethany. She is 3 years older than me and has always been someone I've looked up to. She got a lot of B's in school and had lots of extracurricular activities like hockey and dance clubs. My parents were always so proud of her, and I knew when I grew up I wanted to be just like her. Except I wasn't. I did better than Beth at school, but my social skills sucked. Every time I tried to play with her and her older friends, they made fun of me for being bad at it. It embarrassed Beth. I think that's why she stopped inviting me in the end. As the years went on, we grew apart, especially when Beth was in high school and I was still in middle school. I hated it. I wanted to spend more time with her. I wanted to make her proud of me, but I didn't know how. One day, I snuck into Beth's room when she was at a friend's house and I tried on some of her clothes. Soon after, I spotted her makeup box. When I reached for the tubes of lipsticks, I found a bright red one and I wanted to know what I'd look like with red lips like the women in the movies. So I tried it and, oh my god, I broke it. I pressed it too hard and it snapped. The red stick fell down my chest and onto my lap, staining Beth's purple t-shirt I was wearing. I panicked and took everything off and tried to hide the t-shirt and the lipstick. My heart was pounding when Beth got home from her friend's house. I knew she'd noticed straight away things had been moved around, and I was completely right. I don't think we'd ever fought like that before. I was so sad that I cried all night. I couldn't believe it. After that, I stopped trying to be her friend, and we almost never talked. So when Beth called me into her room one evening, I was shocked. I couldn't believe she wanted to talk to me, and I was just so excited that I didn't think much about it when I went in there after her. It wasn't until she sat me down and looked at me with a serious stare that I began to worry. Was she mad at me again? I hadn't done anything. We only spoke to each other at breakfast and dinner. Maybe I said something she wasn't happy with. Beth started to look sad. What's wrong? I asked. I have a boyfriend, Beth admitted with a small smile. She took my hand in hers and clasped it tight. He invited me to a party he's having tonight, but Mum and Dad have this stupid curfew and they would never let me go on a school night. I really want to see him, April. I didn't understand why she was telling me this. We don't share secrets since we were little, but I was happy. Maybe she wanted to become closer again. I wish I could help, Beth. That really sucks, I said. Well, you can help, she told me and pulled me closer. There's something you can do for me so I can go. What is that? I asked, feeling confused. If you sleep in my room for me under the covers, then when Mum and Dad come to check, they'll think it's me in here, she explained. I shook my head. What if they check my room? Beth rolled her eyes. They never check your room. They know what a good girl you are. I was torn. I wanted to help her, but I didn't want to betray my parents. For a moment, I didn't say anything. I just sat in silence and thought about the options. That is until Beth pulled me closer and cuddled me. Please, April, I really need you, Beth begged, and I couldn't help but give in. Of course, I'll always be here to help you, I told her with a smile, but inside I was worried. I didn't want to get in trouble, and I didn't want my parents to be upset with me. As long as I was quiet, it would be okay though, right? When 8 p.m. came, Beth snuck out of the window and waved me goodbye as I curled up under her covers. I took my Kindle in with me to read until I fell asleep, but I couldn't. Inside, my brain was whirling with thoughts and worries, and after an hour it became clear there would be no sleep for me until Beth got home. At 9 p.m, I heard my mum come in the door to check on Beth. She moved around and picked up some laundry from the floor before she left again, and I let out a sigh of relief. Now, Beth had said she would get home around midnight, so I just had to wait. But as time passed, I checked the clock on the wall and realised with horror that 12 a.m. had come and gone. It was actually past 1 a.m. by then. I sat up in bed horrified and I started to panic. I tried to call her on the phone several times, but no answer. Her phone was off and I became even more horrified. I don't have her boyfriend's contact information. Oh my god, what do I do? After a few minutes, I ran to my parents' room with tears streaming down my face. When I woke them up, they were both really confused. I confessed everything to them through my sobs and they sprung into action. My dad drove around town looking for my sister and my mum called the local hospitals. I sat frozen as I realised Beth could truly be in huge danger right now. By lying for her, I'd put her life in danger. I was devastated. Finally, Beth was found in a hospital in the next town. All three of us raced there to be at her bedside. My parents were too worried and felt shocked when they found out that she'd been taken in for alcohol poisoning and needed her stomach pumped. I blamed myself all the time she was there and cried non-stop. When I entered Beth's room in the hospital, I was sure she'd yell at me for blowing the whole thing over, but I didn't care. I was so worried about her and I wanted her to know how I felt. Before I said a word, Beth held my hand and told me that before being rushed to the hospital, she felt for a moment that she was going to die. At that moment, she could think of only me and our parents. Beth hugged me and I didn't want to let go. The next day when we left the hospital and my parents were positive Beth was fine, they decided it's time to tell us we're both grounded. But we couldn't care any less. We laughed and apologised for what we did. I learned from this incident that people sometimes know who they truly love and what they deeply care about when they think they are not going to see them anymore. What do you think of this video? Don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel.